Hello, I'm Martin Advani, and my alias was Mr. Oliver, a paleontologist for over 50 years. And my main goals were to A, address the issues of slavery, particularly within the nation of England, and furthermore to enable women or to persuade the Royal Society to allow the induction of scientifically minded women into the Royal Society.
Hi, I'm Sagar Subedi, and I'm playing as Joseph Dalton Hooker in the Evolution game. I was born in 1817, and I became a Royal Society member in 1847. I'm a botanist, biogeographer, and traveler. I've traveled a lot and researched about plants, and I know a lot about the plants. I'm supportive of evolution, and I have even helped Darwin to provide some of the proofs for his theories. And I'm an X-Men member.
Hello, my name is Oscar, and I am from an alternate reality where I play Bishop Pollings. I am personally intimidated by what Darwin proposes and how it'll affect natural theology and all of Christendom. I do not think science is inappropriate in a scientific setting. I am also a member of the British Anti-Slavery Society, so I feel very greatly about people's freedom and about them not being enslaved. I am also a botanist as well, and I've been part of the society for many years now.
So during the first session of the Royal Society meeting on the issue of Darwin and his works and who will get the Copley Medal, as an indeterminate, I mainly stayed quiet, stayed silent, and stayed very observant and heard out every side's argument and every side's opinion about this, making special note of who were the most vocal participants in each group, whether it would be A-men, X-men, or even other indeterminates such as myself.
Going into this debate as the bishop and knowing ultimately that we would be talking about Darwin and his theories, I was immediately under fire, particularly because our item of business was the efficacy of prayer, which ultimately put me at a battle stance with some of our other members, which shaped the debate how it went regarding other points of view, whether I would align myself with certain other members or not. That was a real way of defining how our society means would unfold. But going into the first debate, I had to be prepared. There was a lot of attacks going towards the efficacy of prayer, which I personally found of a heretical nature, to be completely honest. But as a member of society, I have to respect the arguments and listen to them.
So in our first meetings, it was kind of intimidating because I got to know four X-Men faction. Four of my friends were only there, and I thought it was kind of impossible to argue against so many A-men people, and then again the indeterminate ones, to convince them of evolution and to help make them vote to help Darwin win the Copley Medal. So, and as the debate went, we went to the efficacy of prayer debate, and I was personally against the experiment to test the efficacy of prayer, because I thought it would be such a waste of huge resources and time, and I didn't think prayer has any scientific basis. So.
So in our class, the winner of the Copley Medal, whom I also agreed with and agreed with as the recipient of the Copley Medal, was Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin won because of the great support and I would even go as far as to say tenacious support given by people of both the A-men side, the X-Men side, and also many indeterminates, who, even though his competitor had many who were supporting his achievements with many facts and many statistics and great logic and reasoning, it was the I would dare to call the unique nature of Darwin's ability or Darwin's achievements and how they were created and how he well documented it and turned it into a narrative that served as the inspiration for his recipient of the Copley Medal.
I was in his class too, so like you said, Darwin won the medal, and it was really happy moment for me because I was super supportive of Darwin, and I belong to the X-Men faction. And like I said before, it was super hard for me to even think of Darwin winning this game because we were only 4 X-Men, and there were lots of indeterminants to convince. There were other X-Men who were opposing us. Oh shit! I said X-Men.
Oh, and you cursed, so now we have to throw out the video.
No, I can say there were amen, and then we can cut it.
No, it looks terrible if you cut it like that. We have to start this part again.
Shit. No, we can just start me. Why you have to start?
Because it looks terrible. Because
Really? Because
okay, no, we can cut off your part, I guess.
yeah,
Okay.
because the camera is not moving. So.
Yeah. Okay.
I was in the same class with Martin, so in our class, like you said.
Bro, we're playing in character, man.
Oh shit. I'm just not gonna say Darwin. I mean, not Martin. Okay?
Yeah.
We were in the same class, so Darwin won the Copley Medal, and I was super happy for Darwin and even the X-Men faction because, like I said in the beginning, it was hard for me to even imagine Darwin would win the Copley Medal because there were only 4 X-Men and other lots of indeterminants and lots of people in the Amen faction. So, but we did it anyways, so it was really a proud moment for us. And I think my biggest arguments were against Mr. Richard Owen. He used lots of fallacies and contradiction in his own statements, which I followed up, and then I told him, and then it was good, and it was happy moment for Darwin to win.
In my reality, unfortunately, Darwin won. As I was very opposed to it. So it was a moment of loss for my faction. Unfortunately, I don't believe the basis for his argument was on the strength of his argument. Ultimately, I don't believe his findings nor his procedures were very deeply discussed in our sessions. Thankfully, though, due to very astute plays by the X-Men, they were able to take to have Darwin nominated and winning the Copley Medal. Unfortunately, for my group, our best efforts, alongside Mr. Bronson and Mr. Longley and General Sabine, to be able to nominate other people that, regardless of scientific merit, almost worked. It almost ultimately allowed us to achieve our objective. Unfortunately, yeah, Darwin did win. I would have preferred his victory had been based on more sound reasoning rather than political play. But ultimately, I have to respect the ability of the X-Men to be able to come together and really focus on those indeterminate roles that were ultimately the ones that pushed them to victory. Ultimately, I think the game went. It was very interesting. I would have preferred for more of the members to have to be more well versed in the origin of species and as well as natural theology. It would have aided in the discussion from it being a fallacious and based on the aggressiveness of the argument rather than it would have allowed it to become a more factual one, which I would have very much liked. However, given my standing, that perhaps would have ended it would have ultimately ended in Darwin winning the Copley Medal, as the arguments for Darwin are a lot stronger. But it would have been a defeat that I would have been more akin to, more comfortable with accepting, rather than one where it was more based on what was going on behind the scenes, and in terms of just political alliances and alliances made when discussing tertiary points that were beyond the Copley Medal.
For me, it was really interesting. Especially in our class, there were lots of arguments. I don't think our class was much political, relatively, but I do believe there were super good arguments, and we did complete our objectives, and it was really interesting. I really like this game, and if there's one thing that I have to tell about this game is that for the first time in my life, I've liked history.
And I would agree with Mr. Hooker in saying that this class also was not as political as other classes seem to have been, and it is a shame because it shows that people fell more into a routine and going outside of their own comfort zones, and comfort zones that we who are very vocal seem to appreciate. We seem to, yes, we suffered some failures, some setbacks, but yet from these setbacks we learn from them. We learn to go forward and become more confident in ourselves. Those who never take even a leap forward, that is ultimate failure in my eye.
Ultimately, if I may add on, I don't want to discredit those in society that did present very factual and strong arguments. However, I would have liked to see more of those, even from myself. To be completely honest, I think structurally it would have been sounder for the decisions that the society made going forward. But in reality, that it is how it turns out. It's very interesting to see how the various avenues ultimately ended on Darwin winning the Copley Medal, which I guess if seeing these different interactions it makes me really question if it was an inevitability of history, or more of a kind of a special scenario that occurred as it did in both of our council meetings. But unless there's anything more to add, I think we're all incredibly thankful for this, and
Indeed.
see you later, Dr. Constance.
God save the Queen!
God save the Queen.